Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Hi, guys. It's Tuesday, the 29th of October. Get ready to pay your rent or pay that mortgage. Glad to have Ike Giving a Shits here, Bruce Birtwhistle, Barney Styles, Look It's Liz, Notion Monger, Floby Tenderson, Blutreich, Jose MMA, Nelson 65, Kermode Bear, Robbie Thurman, Jose MMA, Blutreich. Have I said everybody there? I don't know. There's a million billion of you guys. It's nice to see. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. We're going to have an awesome show today. There's too much to talk about. There's too many guests to pack it all in. As usual, we have a million billion clips. The final countdown and the final arguments won't be made on Joe Rogan's podcast, at least if Joe Rogan doesn't back down to Kamala Harris's demands to meet her somewhere other than Austin, Texas, not in his studio, in only 1 hour. So you guys would not be able to see 3 hours of Kamala. Had to kill the vibe with a pay rent, pay mortgage comment. Hey man, I just don't want anybody falling behind. Man, Steffi got one of that. She forgot to pay one credit card. It was like a day or two late or something like that. She got hit with this $29 fee. She's like, and then she I was like, call them up, tell them you don't want to pay that fee. They'll give you a reprieve. And they did, yes. Happens once in a while. Yeah, Kamala Harris doesn't want to appear in a 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan. She's afraid. She's scared. She can't handle 3 hours. However, I do wish that, obviously for my own selfish desires, that Joe Rogan would do the podcast anyway, because to me, it just seems like a smart move in that she's trying to get, the thing is, they want to get male votes. Way to go, unlocking the bonus content there. She wants to get men to vote for her. This is the way to do it. But let's be honest. They don't really care about male votes. What they've done is the Harris campaign has pandered to every constituency, including white males. But the way that they've pandered to white males, I mean, it's condescending regardless. But the way that they have pandered to white males is more condescending than most of the condescending ways that they've tried to do outreach. Everybody gets what I'm saying here, right? I mean, you felt this, you've seen this, the white dudes for Kamala Harris campaign, and it's like, 6 or 7 gay guys who are talking about eating carburetors for breakfast stuff. Boy, you couldn't see a carburetor underneath that giant belly that guy had for nothing. For all the buttery egg McMuffin sandwiches with 2 sides of hash browns and a little hot sauce, the pecane hot sauce that you put on top of there, maybe a breakfast burrito with the sausage as well, and that nice little cheesy, melty mixture that you get in there, and then maybe a large orange juice, or if you're really feeling it, a double extra large iced coffee, 2 pumps. Like Austin, you must be kind of hungry. Hey, anybody want to go to breakfast? Let's screw this. Let's go do this show, guys. Let's go out to eat. Wouldn't that be more fun? We could talk about politics over the table. Cecilia says, morning all. Who was that turd that gave a downvote? Just for that, here is a rant, AP. Thank you, Cecilia. Somebody downvote the show. No. Click that like button. We must overpower the haters. That's all right. Haters pay my bills too, but not as much as Cecilia does. We've got a lot to do. So is it 1 cup or 2? Camelia Peterson will join us at 7:30, a little early because she's out of town in a different time zone, but she's going to be on with us at 7:30. And today we're actually going to do something a little bit more state-based. We're going to go through Missouri's ballot initiatives. You may have some ballot initiatives in your state. I'm not in your state. I'm in Missouri, the greatest state in the world, the greatest state in the world. We're going to talk about Missouri's ballot initiatives for about 20, 30 minutes. And then we're going to play the clip of the Kamala Harris supporters screaming in the little girl's face outside the Houston rally with Beyonce last weekend. Camelia just wants to say things about that. So you know what? We're going to have her do it. So 7:30 a.m. Central, a little bit earlier than usual. Camelia joins us to talk about the ballot initiatives. At 8 o'clock, back to the national news. Maxim Lott joins us to handicap the horse race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. There you go. We'll get our what are the numbers looking like? Now that we're down to the wire and the election is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days away, we got to keep an eye on that pretty much every day. At 8:30 this morning, we're going to something a little bit different. At 8:30 a.m. Central Time today, we're going to speak to Dr. Marion Mass. Who is Dr. Marion Mass? She's just an uber brilliant genius, super smart doctor lady who believes in freedom and patients first, who believes in the people who wear scrubs, not the people who wear suits. She's a wife, she's a mom, she's a pediatrician, a gardener, a writer, and a speaker. She believes in a free market in healthcare. Exciting stuff. At 8:30 a.m. Central Time, we're going to hear from Dr. Marion Mass about some of the cronyism, some of the anti-capitalist practices in our healthcare industry, and the corruption of Big Pharma. So make sure that you stick around or come back if you need to at 8:30 to hear from Dr. Marion Mass. If you have a question for her or any of our guests today, you can send them in at 573-319-1586. The text lines are open Monday through the text lines are open actually all the time. Again, 573-319-1586. That's the text line. Again, one more time, 573-319-1586. One listener texted in, oh my gosh, about Puerto Ricans in Florida. Unlike other Hispanics, they are all American citizens. Furthermore, Puerto Rico could become a state one of these election cycles. The Hispanic vote has been trending to the right. If PR gets statehood, we want that trend to continue. So I would say that was an unhelpful joke from yesterday. That was actually really good. Yesterday, though most of these texts are from yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. We've got some incredible guests on the Wake Up America show. One listener texted in 3 more guests they'd like to have on the show again. Those are great things to text. Thank you, Quest Fanning. Again, you can text us at 573-319-1586. Again, 573-319-1586 is the text line. We'd love to have your thoughts on guests as well. And we'd love to have you be a regular guest Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. That's the Wake Up America show's live stream time. Since there's an issue searching for the Joe Rogan episode on YouTube, did you hear about this? Yeah. Apparently people are trying to go to YouTube to find the Joe Rogan Donald Trump interview, but they're not able to find it. It's not popping up on searches, despite it being the number one most popular interview in the world, and a historic interview. Joe Rogan is posting the interview over on Elon Musk's platform so that people can find it much more easily, because for whatever reason, Google, YouTube, is not allowing the searches for the Joe Rogan Donald Trump interview to pop up. Interesting. Joe Rogan posted an update underneath that last night that said, also for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is just to have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. Well, that's very tough, but kind of you, Joe Rogan. Of course, he has to be diplomatic because he's trying to get that interview, and I understand what that's like. And he wants to do it on his own terms, and I can also understand what that's like as well. I would say that if you're someone like me, I think selfishly, I would say that I would want him to go and do it, even if it was just an hour. He would get criticized for backing down, but I think it would be good for our country. I think it would be bad for Kamala. You know what I mean? Even an hour, I think it would not go well for her. Elon Musk responded to Joe Rogan, says that he would definitely watch that podcast. Hour 2 would be good and then he posted the little melting smiley, like she would melt down. No, you don't think You think Kamala Harris would just do something like that? Just go out and melt down in an interview? No, that would never happen.
Polls suggest that voters trust President Trump, former President Trump, more on the economy. What can you tell the voters, our viewing audience, our listening audience, that if you were to become president, while Madam VP Kamala Harris will be much better on the economy than what President Trump was?
Well, so I'm really glad you brought that up, Shannon. So first of all, let's clear up certain myths.
Okay.
You know those checks that went out?
Yes. Those skimmies?
Right. Right.
Stimulus check.
Yeah, I know. Well, right. Yes. Yes.
We got to be for stimulus, but they call them stimmies. Okay.
2 hours of that. I don't know, guys. I don't know that she's up to it. Maybe it's because even if, when she does anything unscripted, this is how it goes.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that. Because it's about all of us. It's about all of us. And listen, I have fought.
She just wait. Hold on. What? What was that? What was that? Hold on now. You don't get to just back away, keep moving on from that. So they're going Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. Then she shout their own name. Hold on. Okay, watch.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that. Because it's about all of us.
Oh my God, dude. That is so funny. Hey guys, who brings you the happiness and the fun and the funny in the Wake Up America show in the morning? Isn't it me, AP? So click like. And subscribe. Don't want to do any accents here. Don't want to be accused of being racist. Everybody's talking about this clip from CNN. Ryan Girdusky is kind of a trolly right winger. He is banned from CNN for life after this comment that he made after he was called a Nazi on CNN. Take a listen.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop doing.
You're called an anti-Semite more than anyone else's table.
Yeah.
And people would me. I never called you an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians. So I'm used to it.
Yeah, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is that
you just say I should die?
You should not.
No,
Did you just say I should be killed?
No, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Hold on.
Did your guest just say I should be killed on live TV?
I said I hope
Guys,
you.
let me just stop.
You said you hope my beeper doesn't go off.
Because you said I'm a big supporter of
Okay, hope your beeper doesn't go off, dude. To Mehdi Hassan, bro, it's so good. At least Ryan Girdusky was clever. Mehdi Hassan, all they have is just, oh, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. And then he goes, oh, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. Did you suggest that you think that I should be killed?
How dare you?
I mean, did you ever see that video of that guy who's at some town meeting and he talks about how we need to kick the illegals out or something like that? It's like, it's these illegals or something like that. And he's like surrounded by these liberal Karens. And then like one of them goes, you need to leave, right? It's the exact same thing that happened after Girdusky says, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. Listen, you can just hear the female rage. I mean, just imagine what's going to happen to these women on election night. These CNN women, if Trump wins, we have got to win, guys, just for the memes and the media and the video clips alone.
The thing is that
you just say I should die?
You should not.
No,
Did you just say I should be killed?
No, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Hold on.
Did your guest just say I should be killed on live TV?
I said
Let me just stop.
I think you should leave. Thank you, Barney Styles, there for the clarification. You say, no, he clearly said he hopes you don't get killed. See, if Ryan had just been like, turned it around and said, no, I said, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. But everybody is still implying, though, that he is a terrorist, I got to say. It's good stuff, Ryan. And I say this as someone who I know Ryan Girdusky doesn't like me at all. But you credit where it's due. Ryan Girdusky to Hassan. I hope your beeper doesn't go off. I thought that was pretty damn funny. But tonight at Ryan's house,
FBI, open up!
tune in to the Wake Up America shows for Liberty Network. To watch our two news shows, the Wake Up America show is part of a triumvirate. That's 3 shows on the For Liberty Network at forlibertynetwork.com. Tonight, Culturama starring Daniela Pensac at 7 p.m. Central Time. Watch her new show where she's taking back tomorrow today. Culturama is a retro, radioactive, 1950s communist zombie-themed show in the vein of the Wake Up America show. She is taking on cultural issues on her program Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. At rumble.com/Culturama. That's rumble.com/Culturama, Daniela Pensack. And then on Thursday nights, the fun goes on. This Thursday night, on Halloween night, expect some fun and some Halloween hijinks with the boys from Liberty Tonight. At rumble.com/Liberty Tonight. At rumble.com/Liberty Tonight, you get to watch 2 hours of the only liberty-friendly late-night talk show right after Culturama from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you've got 4 hours of content to watch. Wake Up America show in the morning, Culturama at night, and then Thursdays, Wake Up America show in the morning, Culturama at night, and then Liberty Tonight on your late night, right? Right? It's a lot. Listen, guys. You don't think these things come out of a coconut tree? You think that these podcasts just came out of it? You guys don't. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Did these podcasts just fall out of coconut trees? They exist
in the
context of all of the busting my ass hard work I've been doing to bring this network to you. Hey, Dad Bod Baboon, he's saying, what color dress will be she wearing tonight? I think it'll be pink with white polka dots. We shall see. Did you guys see her advertisement for her Culturama Halloween special where she's dressed up as a spooky, scary witch? You got to check that one out.
How dare you?
Over at rumble.com/Culturama. Yes, isn't it fun? 1950s retro theme. Really good stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun today on the Wake Up America show. Camelia will be joining us in less than 10 minutes to discuss Missouri's ballot initiatives. And that'll be a great conversation. The Ryan Girdusky thing, to put I guess maybe a pin in it. Maybe we'll get to it later, but maybe it's not the biggest thing in the world. Conservative getting banned from CNN, News at 11. Who cares? I'm actually reading about an opinion piece by Jeff Bezos, the owner of the Washington Post, the owner of Amazon. And the title of Jeff Bezos's piece is "The Hard Truth. Americans Don't Trust the News Media." A note from his owner. They're freaking out over at the Washington Post this morning because of their owner saying things like, we need to have more conservative opinions in the Washington Post. We need to have more people on the right in the Washington Post so that we can have a less biased news media. I want to read to you from Jeff Bezos's piece over on the Washington Post. I can't because I don't have time. Please don't be mad. Come on, guys. Just give me a break here. We got Camelia coming in less than 10, and I got to set you up so that you're aware. We've already unlocked the bonus content, so that's one good thing. That doesn't mean that you should stop. We've got some incredible news. The Battle of Athens documentary that I've been working on, guys, we now got the what you call in the production industry a green light. That is really exciting. A green light means go. Because I've been bootstrapping it up into this point, and now someone stepped in and is committed to helping us to film the more expensive scenes that it's going to take to produce Bleed American, The Battle of Athens, and baby, I am so thrilled and exciting. Coming 2025, my first full-length feature documentary, and it's going to be a damn good one, guys. I'm so excited. And I want to say thank you for all of the financial contributions that you all have made to get us here. 2 years later, the Wake Up America Show podcast is not just one podcast. It's a full-blown network. And as I promised, I would be moving into documentaries and into full-length motion pictures one day if I can get there. You have to walk before you can crawl, of course. And I'm crawling through a river of mud and poop and coming out clean on the other side like Andy Dufresne. This is just wonderful. I know that my daughter is going to be so proud of her father when she grows up and learns about all the wonderful things that he did in order to make the country a better place for my little baby Hazel Rose. And I'm very excited, of course, to have even more kids. Stephanie. So can you bless me with something?
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
If you were like me and you were tired of seeing Reason Magazine's endorsement of Kamala Harris for president of the United States, not the magazine itself, but many of the authors, and saying that they're voting for her or for the libertarian candidate, and zero of them for Trump. If you agree with Jeff Bezos that you're tired of the biased news, then it's time to start funding alternatives. And the For Liberty Network is that alternative. I'm at the helm of what will be a media empire. Right now, we're more like a city-state, but we used to be a village, if you use civilization references. But we've now turned into a city-state, the For Liberty Network, with 3 podcasts and a greenlit documentary coming next year. And then, well, I've got scripts for movies about Ludwig von Mises, about Lysander Spooner. I've got much more ambitious projects to go, and I got a lot of living to do. 40 more years of hard work. Mr. Newsy asks, will you be doing any filming in Tennessee? Well, Mr. Newsy, probably not, because we've already done our filming in Tennessee. We went to, at the end of last year, we went to Athens, Tennessee, and did many interviews and a lot of photography and video recording of the town. And now we just need to film the expensive battle scenes with armorers and blanks and firearms and, shooting and a siege on the jail. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so freaking awesome. But we got the green light, and so we will resume filming in spring of next year, and it'll be coming at the end of next year, which is pretty exciting, But you got to bless me with something. Buy some Founding Flavors coffee. Help to support the next phase of the Liberty Movement's media strategy. If you believe in the mission and you like where we're headed, then let's turn this city-state into a megalopolis. And from a megalopolis, well, maybe not. Maybe that's an unfortunate term considering the whole megalopolis flop of Francis Ford Coppola recently, but from maybe not a megalopolis, but a city-state to an empire. So help us to build that empire by going to forlibertyshop.com and drinking delicious Founding Flavors coffee. Stop giving your coffee money to corporations that hate you. I promise you that when you go to Starbucks, they take that money and they use it to fund their employees to go and have abortions. And since we're not big fans of abortions, we're not going to stand up for Missouri's Amendment 3. We're going to say no on 3. That's right. We've got a bunch of incredible things to talk about today and some incredible guests. We've got Camelia Peterson. We've got Maxim Lott. We have got Dr. Marion Mass. This show today, it's just going to go bam, 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 and it'll be over and your day will start. So enjoy every second of everything that I've produced for you today on the city-state of the For Liberty Network. The Wake Up America show's bonus content. If you are seeing this mini documentary, it's because you contributed financially in order to help us grow our show and our network. Thank you to everyone helping make the For Liberty Network a success. Today's story is that the U.S. Copyright Office frees the McFlurry, allowing repair of ice cream machines. In a recent decision, the U.S. Copyright Office has granted an exemption allowing the repair of certain ice cream machines. This exemption applies to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, circumvention rule, particularly benefiting those dealing with frequent issues in soft-serve machines. Manufacturers of these machines opposed the exemption. However, crucial support was garnered from notable entities, including the Department of Justice Antitrust Division, the Federal Trade Commission, and the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. The Register of Copyrights recommended this new exemption, covering diagnosis, maintenance, and repair for retail-level commercial food preparation equipment. Proponents successfully demonstrated adverse effects on non-infringing uses without this exemption. It's important to note that the exemption does not extend to commercial and industrial food preparation devices. The Register highlighted that these industrial machines differ significantly and lack evidence of adverse effects for repair needs. Proponents used the example of frequently malfunctioning soft-serve ice cream machines in restaurants to illustrate repair challenges. Specifically, machines from the Taylor Company used in McDonald's were a focal point due to their repair difficulties. These machines feature error codes that are often unintuitive and subject to change. While some error codes appear in user manuals, these manuals are frequently outdated and incomplete, complicating the repair process. Further complicating repairs are technological protection measures, or TPMs. Certain error codes are accessible only through a service manual available exclusively to authorized technicians or via a TPM locked service menu. Accessing the locked service menu typically requires a manufacturer-approved diagnostic tool or an extended, obscure key sequence. However, it's unclear if the 16-press sequence remains effective or if firmware updates have altered it. As a result, many users face significant barriers in diagnosing and repairing these machines without bypassing the TPMs. This situation leads to considerable financial losses due to disrupted business operations. The Register emphasized that diagnosing the soft-serve machine's error codes often requires accessing TPM-protected software, which demands a passcode or proprietary tool to unlock. Moreover, the threat of potential litigation hinders users from engaging in essential repair activities, creating reluctance to circumvent these protective measures even when necessary for repairs. This exemption marks a significant step towards empowering businesses to maintain and repair their equipment without fear of legal repercussions, ultimately supporting business continuity and efficiency. Stakeholders hope this decision will encourage more accessible and affordable repair solutions in the food service industry, potentially reducing downtime and repair costs. While the exemption is a win for retail-level equipment, advocates continue to push for broader reforms that include industrial equipment and other sectors facing similar repair challenges. Repair rights activists view this as a crucial victory in the ongoing battle for right-to-repair movements, seeking to dismantle barriers imposed by technological restrictions. The next steps involve monitoring the impact of this exemption and advocating for further changes to expand repair rights across different industries. Businesses and repair technicians must stay informed about these changes to leverage the new opportunities for equipment repairs effectively. The conversation around repair rights is evolving, and this decision adds momentum to the push for more comprehensive reforms in the future. By addressing these repair challenges, the industry moves closer to a more sustainable and customer-friendly approach, benefiting both businesses and consumers alike. Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. We're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Networks. Yeah, I saw Ike giving a shit over in the chat. He's like, what is this bonus content? McFlurry machines? We need to fight for your right to soft serve? Excuse me? That was a copyright issue, sir. Intellectual property. It's a very important story. That's not something that affects people every day. Listen, I need somebody to come in here and give some backup for me and say that that was good bonus content that you didn't see it. Camellia Peterson joining us live this morning from not Missouri. Boo, boo, Camellia.
Good morning from Ohio.
Ohio gozaimasu. So we're glad you're here, Camellia. Yeah, I'm just teasing. We're thankful to have you here on the show this morning. It was a little bit earlier. The time zones are different, so we had to kind of like make it work. So thank you very much for making it work. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries.
Here comes the music. You weren't hearing it until now. There we go. Camellia, sometimes we need to talk about stuff that's happening on the state level, not just all the national stuff. We will get back to the national stuff after. Maxim Lott will join me at 8 o'clock to kind of handicap the presidential race. I know you're ready for this race to be over. I know you're super excited for it, but I see some ANCAPs, that's anarcho-capitalists for those who don't know, who are saying, don't vote, don't go out there and vote. And it's kind of like, I get it if you don't want to vote in the presidential election, but we got some ballot initiatives, right? And like, there are important reasons to show up and vote more than just, the two people who want to be lords of the universe. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure. By the way, can I ask you real quick, because I've got other audio in my ear, and I don't know if that's me or you.
You've got other audio in your ear?
No, I don't now. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that was the rock and roll music that I play underneath our intro as we come in. So.
Oh, Okay.
I had to turn it on
Sure
during. I turned it on for you. The audience could hear it the whole time. But
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm with you. I
so
thought
get
maybe it
out
was
and
just
vote
me.
because ballot initiatives,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, for sure. And there are what, 7 of them, statewide in Missouri this time. So, everybody walks in and they're like trying to read through all the descriptions and what is this? And that the descriptions are just they're in the best light possible because the people who write the ballot initiatives write them in such a way to benefit themselves because it's not the legislature writing the ballot initiative. So you might think, oh, this is something the people get to vote on. But you know what? It's not representatives of the people who are writing these for the benefit of the people. Let's not fool ourselves here.
No, it's always a special interest typically who's writing it for their own special interest. Just like the marijuana initiative here in Missouri, the way that they set it up was they set it up as a cartel rather than a free market and that's in large part though because our legislature can't get their act together on certain things and they won't make reasonable, amenable concessions. And part of that is political and part of it's practical. For example, I know some Missouri Republicans who were amenable to legalizing weed under certain circumstances, even though they didn't get the deal that they wanted, but they couldn't necessarily be open about it because they know that the voters in their constituents in their districts are extremely religious and were opposed to it on moral principles or moral grounds, so any legalization of drugs. So some doctors, some quacks, and some cronies, they go and they write a ballot initiative that ensures that, even though it had the lottery effect to it, they know that they can consolidate power in just a few hands and be the producer,
Absolutely.
the suppliers,
Yeah, we're already seeing it. Like they supposedly are trying to make it easier for minorities and certain special groups to get licenses for marijuana. But what we're seeing is like a lot of these people are going out of business and they're in debt and like it's not working because the system is. The law was written up to benefit the major players in the business and to the exclusion of everybody else. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Like one of the big things Missouri has a problem with is cronyism, and the ballot initiative process contributes to that enormously. And I know people are always like, oh, but like the people need to have a say, the voice of the people. Okay, but it's not really working that way. It's not
Right.
benefiting us. We have a constitution that is enormous now because we keep stuffing all of this cronyistic crap in it.
Yeah, it's been a big problem, and I think every 10 years, what is it? How many years have to go
20.
by? Is it 20 years when Missouri
Yeah.
gets an opportunity to amend its constitution or to make these changes? And it just went by like a couple of
Yes.
election cycles ago. I was out there
Right.
saying, let's do it, fix this crap, fix this problem. Everybody's like, no, they'll rewrite the Constitution. It's kind of like the people who are against the Convention of States on the national level. Where it's a similar process on the national level. If we want to amend the federal constitution, I don't know. I think it might be every 40 years or 50 years or so. There's some opportunity, but you can also force it if 2/3 of the states will sign on for a convention
Right.
of states to rewrite the federal constitution.
So it's much more difficult, right, at the federal level than at the state level, as it should be. And actually, we have Thomas Jefferson to thank for this 20-year, look at rewriting the Constitution because he started that it might have been the Virginia legislature, but he authored that. And basically, his idea was like, society changes so much, with every generation or two that, they need to have the opportunity to go back and take a look and see what needs to be changed and kind of start over, if they feel like it's needed. And boy, we really need it.
Yeah, no, we certainly do. And so now we're going to switch away from the national scene. There are some interesting ballot initiatives in places like Florida where it's kind of driven a wedge between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis people
Right.
with the abortion question there. Missouri has its own abortion ballot initiative, and we're going to talk about the ones here in Missouri. But we highly recommend that you and your state look at your ballot before you go to vote and take a little bit of time so that you're not rushed outside the ballot box to make a decision about maybe even things like judges, which all of us are like, I don't have no idea who these people are, or some of the local seats, and I have no idea who these people people are. But at a minimum, your state probably has ballot initiatives. So make sure that you make sure that you look at those and see what they are so that you can make reasonable, rational decisions. Here in the state of Missouri, we have 7 ballot initiatives. These would alter our Constitution. These have been proposed by civilians. And the secretaries, I'm going off the Secretary of State's office, but I also have an article that goes through the ballot initiatives as well. Amendment 2, the official ballot title here is about sports betting. So proposal by initiative petition. Do we want to amend the Missouri Constitution to allow the Missouri Gaming Commission to regulate licensed sports wagering, including online sports betting, gambling boats, professional sports betting districts, and mobile licenses to sports betting operators? Do we want to restrict that betting to the age of 21? Do we want to allow license fees prescribed by the commission? And do we want to allow for the General Assembly to enact laws consistent with this amendment? And then it says what the one-time cost of implementing it would be, what the annual cost of it would be, $5.2 million, and an initial license revenue fee of $11.75. So they expect to make good money on this one. And so a yes vote will amend the Constitution to permit licensed sports wagering. But the amendment includes a 10% wagering tax on revenues, and a no vote will not amend the Constitution regarding licensed. What, yay or nay, Camelia?
I'm a little conflicted on this one, but let's just call this what it is. It's a sin tax, and it's legislating morality, which obviously we've already done on gambling. But hey, it's okay to have state sanctioned gambling, but not you can't make that choice to do that on your own, right, with your own money. And if you're going to do it, by all means, the state needs to get their cut. I'm just like, this issue just makes me so annoyed because it's been a political football in Missouri for years now. And I'm like, if I never heard about sports betting in Missouri again, I'd be happy. But the thing is that the legislature could have taken this up because everybody knows it was going on the ballot, just like with the marijuana initiative. Everybody knows it's going on the ballot. Everybody knows it's probably going to pass. The legislature had the opportunity to actually do something that was a little more under their purview, which means that the voters have a say in that by virtue of their representation. And they didn't do it. And they've just kicked the ball down the field for forever now. So I don't know. I don't like that this puts more of this stuff in the Constitution. At the same time, I also think people should be free to do what they want with their own money. And they don't have to go across state lines to either Illinois or Kansas if they want to bet on sports. So I don't know. This is one that, I might vote yes, but it depends on whether or not I just am so up to my eyeballs with stuff being put in the Constitution. And I'm like, no, forget it all.
Right. Statist. Boo. Okay. So I think I'm a tentative yes on this one. Permit it, right? I think that it's kind of like with the weed that the criminal justice aspect of this one, stop forcing people to drive across the state lines to go and do their sports betting. And that it's their money, they earned it, they should be able to spend it as they please. The only problem is that when we give the government more money, they waste it and use it to crack down on our rights. Let's be
clear though. The selling point to all this stuff is, the money's going to go to the school. Whatever,
it's not. I don't want anything but that. Anything but that. No. Please, no. It's so funny how what weirdos we are, Camelia, because if you're around normal people and you were like, oh, we're going to get more money for the schools, everybody's like, yay. And I'm like,
it's not going to happen though. The schools never see the money, so it's just not going to happen. Don't let that be your reason for voting for it or against it for that matter, because it's just irrelevant.
That won't be it. All right. Next is official ballot title amendment 3. Do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to slice and dice the little babies into tiny bits and suck their brains out with a vacuum hose, and then and remove Missouri's ban on abortion in the Constitution? What say you, Camelia?
Exactly that. Yes. God, no. And here's the thing. There are so many things that are wrong with this initiative. that I can't even go through and list them all off here. But one of the things I think is important to know, not only does it not require parental consent for minors, but also it doctors who screw up are not liable. There is no liability. So you can't sue those people. So there are just lots of things like that are wrong in this initiative. And, I'm sitting here in Ohio where they just did this. Was it last year or the year before? And I don't know if you remember all of this. They had this on their ballot, and it was the same case as ours where, their state law was really extreme on the other end and protecting life. But then they had this really extreme abortion initiative on the ballot. And when people went to the ballot box, they chose abortion because there was no middle ground or less extreme measure to choose from. And I'm concerned that that's it wasn't even really close. JD Vance talked about the problems behind that as well here in Ohio, and I think we have a very similar problem in Missouri as well. So we will see. I will say it won't be for lack of effort among the grassroots, because you cannot drive through anywhere in Missouri and not see no on 3 signs, which is heartening. And I'm really glad that that is happening. And maybe we've got a chance, but we'll see.
We won't know for certain, of course, until the results are counted. But it's all hindsight is always 2020 in terms of how organized the No on 3 campaigners are here in Missouri. Just yard signs themselves really aren't enough. You've got to spend a lot of money on advertising. You know what I learned from my Senate campaign here in Missouri is that all the people who vote, you know what they watch? TV. Yeah, they watch television. Camila, you remember when you used to sit down and you used to watch television? And
a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember the last time I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch some television today. That's what most people do. That's why you and I
don't even know how to get channels anymore. I don't even know how you get them.
I don't have a single TV hooked up to a television. I couldn't get a television signal in my house. To save my life. I don't even remember what you got to do. Do I have to go to Walmart and buy an antenna or something like that? Is that what they use?
I don't know either.
They watch it though. People, they watch the news. They watch ABC and CBS News or Fox News, and they're watching those news channels, and that's where they're getting their news. That's where they're getting information. That's why you and I are freaks of nature, because we walk around and we're surrounded by people. It's kind of like, I know you didn't see that movie where it's the pod people and stuff like that. We start talking about, everybody's the school thing. All the money's going to schools, and everybody's like, oh my God, yes. And then we're like, oh my God, no. And they're like,
I will say that, yes, you're right. Signs are, I don't know. I've shifted my thinking a little bit on signs. I think that they are sort of a measure of momentum in some ways, but signs don't vote, and they're not a true measure of whether or not something will pass. But yeah, as far as there being a cohesive movement to, get people to vote no on this, we're being outspent at least 8-1 by the other side. And part of the problem is there's so many different small groups in Missouri who are really putting their all into opposing this, but they're sending out mailers that are talking about, do you know Jesus, and how abortion is evil, and this massively, bad designs that are
the opposite of what JD Vance was suggesting we might want to try.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Now, if you're listening to the Wake Up America show live right now, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. I'm speaking to Camelia Peterson. We're not related, but we are good friends, and she's not in her usual time spot. Normally she's at 8 a.m. Central Time, but she's out in Ohio, so she is joining us a little bit earlier today. We appreciate that, and we wish her the best. 8 more days, Camelia, until the election is over. I know you're very excited.
Cannot come soon enough.
Yes. Amendment 5 here in the state of Missouri, the Lake of the Ozarks Casino. Proponents say the additional gambling boat would generate funds for early childhood literacy, more programs for public education. Opponents say the Osage Nation was also interested in operating a casino, and that would allow the tribe to strengthen its cultural ties to the area. Passages of the amendment could negatively affect the tribe's ability to pursue this project. So what's the deal? So an additional gambling boat. So to operate on the Osage River, it's good for gambling and childhood. The pros are that we have another boat in the Lake of the Ozarks. The cons are that the Osage Nation will have to have competition.
Do you know why this has to be on the ballot? This
Why?
is so stupid. This has to
Why?
be on the ballot because whenever they did the law before about allowing gambling boats in Missouri, they
Yeah.
put a very specific number on it. This is in our Constitution. There's like, I can't remember. I think it's like they only allow like, I don't know, 12 or 13 boats in Missouri. So in order to add a 14th, you have to put it back on the ballot. I mean, like, this is really dumb. So I don't care if the people of Osage County or that the lake area, if they want a boat, put a gambling boat on there. I don't care.
Yeah, who cares? But I mean, it's like, oh, it would negatively affect the Osage Nation because they wanted to have a casino in the area and it would allow the tribe to strengthen its cultural ties to the area. No, at some point, like you want
Since when
Native
did
American, you want to do a casino, to do an Indian casino. That should be fine. That's allowed, but you're gonna have to compete with the rest of us. We can't keep
why?
you can't keep skimming off like your cultural gripes from hundreds of years ago. I didn't do the Trail of Tears. It's not my fault.
Well, and why in the world would this be? Why would you want to tie gambling to your culture? This is not like a cultural thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to talk about your culture, like, why would
Yeah.
gambling be your culture? That's not a thing to be proud of. In fact, you should be working to, not have the things that, Indian tribes tend to be plagued with, which is alcoholism and gambling problems.
Although I would go the hell out of, I would go to a store that was an Indian alcohol liquor store that was called like Osage Firewater or something like that. That'd be awesome. Osage Firewater, drink big firewater, gamble play much blackjack. I don't know. It's sort of, at some level, yeah. The thing with the Native Americans, it's kind of like, if you won't screw to save your species, it's like the panda, right? Like, just go extinct. I'm sorry. I know the people are gonna be mad. Robbie's part. Is Robbie Osage? Robbie Thurman.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
He's part Native American, Cherokee, something like that. That's okay. You can, we can argue over it.
Maybe he's half Cherokee and Choctaw. Because my
Cherokee.
baby, she's a Chippewa.
Cherokee.
You're all very
Nation.
welcome for having that song in your head now this morning.
You got to do that one and Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe. I guess Robbie Thurman, he is in the chat and he's laughing in Cherokee. He's Cherokee. So proud to live, so proud to die. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. If you're enjoying the Wake Up America show this morning, click like. We'll be glad to have your support. I'm speaking to Kamala Peterson, talking about the ballot initiatives in the state of Missouri. We got to rush through these because we got to get to Maxim in less than 10. Amendment 6, court fees. Boo, so boring. Asks voters to authorize using court fees to generate revenue for salaries and benefits of current and retired county sheriffs and prosecuting attorneys. Man, if they had just been the sheriffs and not the prosecuting attorneys, they might have had me there.
Okay. So this is an important one, actually, but it's also one of the most boring, right? It's harder to understand because it sounds good on the surface. But our very good friend, Representative Ben Baker, talked to me about this one time, and I cannot explain it to you the way he explained it to me. But basically, in doing this, it is a negative for sheriffs, and it limits how they do their options for doing their pensions, and locks them into something that could work out not to be good for them. So he has actually been saying that this is a hard no. But you will hear a lot of people talk this up like it's a good thing, but it is actually not a good thing.
Good to know. Typically, whenever something goes on a ballot, especially in Missouri, and it's more money for police officers, Missourians tend to vote for that in a knee-jerk fashion. But I'll take your word on this one. The next one, ranked choice voting, and that's either yay or boo, depending on how you feel about this concept. Here's how this one works, though. It's a little tricky. Asks voters to block ranked choice voting and other alternative voting systems, limit voting to only citizens over the age of 18, and only allow paper ballots to be used for elections. The pros: proponents say only U.S. citizens should vote in any election and that the alternative election systems would harm fair voting in Missouri and be too complicated. The cons are, this is according to the League of Women Voters, by the way, opponents say that the current law prohibits non-citizens from voting and that this is ballot candy. They say local governments should decide which election system is best, and this initiative takes away local election control. Camelia, where are you?
I'm probably a no on this, and not because I don't think that some forms of ranked choice voting are bad, because they are, but I'm not totally opposed to all forms of ranked choice voting. I think that there are some benefits sometimes. That said, I also think that it's true that some of this is ballot candy. When it talks about paper, we already have paper ballots statewide. This is already in our laws. We have paper ballots.
So if we vote no, then we're not going to block ranked choice voting, meaning that we're going to be able to have the opportunity if we want to in the future.
Right. Yeah. And I think that we should have that option. We shouldn't have to undo it at the constitutional level.
Yeah. But I mean, whoever wrote this, I don't think that they really thought through how they were putting this together. I mean, really any idiot can write a ballot initiative and get enough. It doesn't really take a lot of signatures to get on a ballot here in Missouri, does it? I mean, it is an effort, right? I mean, it does take quite a bit of effort. I can't remember the total numbers, but I mean, it does require a lot of work, but if you've got the money to put into it, then but this is not here's the thing is that this initiative did not get on there by signature gathering. This is an SJR, is a Senate Joint Resolution that came out. So this came from the legislature. The legislature can vote to put things on the ballot, and this one came from the legislature. Okay, interesting. Okay, the last one before we go, Camelia, is the statutory change. Proposition A, minimum wage and sick days, asks voters to guarantee that Missouri workers can earn up to 7 paid sick days per year and gradually raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Guess what? No. No. It's unreal. We just this year went up the last increment from the last minimum wage increase, and I'm really concerned that this one is going to pass, and it's terrible. It's going to hurt especially small businesses in rural areas who are providing much needed jobs in those areas, and this kills them. I mean, this hurts people who need it, need jobs the most, and it doesn't do anything for people in more of the urban areas where they're already paying above this for entry-level jobs. So it's just, it really hurts the most vulnerable people in our state the most. That's good stuff. Camelia Peterson, live from an undisclosed location out east. Anything else you want to share before we go? No, I like you mentioned it earlier. Everybody, check your ballots ahead of time because boy. Oh, by the way, I do one more thing. Yes, for Missouri, when you talk about judges, there are 2 Supreme Court justices that we are voting for on retention for, and so the 2 that are on there, Ginger Gooch, and I can't remember the other one's name, but there are 2 on there. You want to vote yes to retain them because they are 2 of the judges that voted to keep the abortion measure off the ballot. So we need to keep them around because they were willing to do that. All right, I'm a little uncomfortable voting to keep someone whose name is Gooch, but I will allow it. Camelia, this is Missouri after all. We'll see you on Thursday. Yes, have a great week. Have a good one. That's Camelia Peterson, S-O-N. S-O-N. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Do, re, mi, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl. We're going to break. I'll be right back with Maxim Lott to break down the horse race of Kamala versus Trump. Will Kamala go on Joe Rogan? All that and more when we get back on the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. The Wake Up America show's bonus content. If you are seeing this mini documentary, it's because you contributed financially in order to help us grow our show and our network. Thank you to everyone helping make the 4 Liberty Network a success. Today's story is that the U.S. Copyright Office frees the McFlurry, allowing repair of ice cream machines. In a recent decision, the U.S. Copyright Office has granted an exemption allowing the repair of certain ice cream machines. This exemption applies to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, circumvention rule. particularly benefiting those dealing with frequent issues in soft-serve machines. Manufacturers of these machines opposed the exemption. However, crucial support was garnered from notable entities, including the Department of Justice Antitrust Division, the Federal Trade Commission, and the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. The Register of Copyrights recommended this new exemption, covering diagnosis, maintenance, and repair for retail-level commercial food preparation equipment. Proponents successfully demonstrated